So the next topic that we have to study is about the Small Industries Development Bank of India, SIDBI. Okay, have you heard about this one? Small Industries Development Bank of India. Okay, so there is a bank or there are like government supports are provided or financial aids are provided for small businesses. Okay, and for this purpose, this SIDBI is started. Set up as an apex bank to provide direct and indirect financial assistance under different schemes to meet credit needs of small business organizations. So this bank or this institution has been set up as providing credit facilities to the small businesses. So there are so many small businesses in India, and see like whatever may be small or big, whatever may be the businesses that we are having, they need to have financial requirements are there. You wear your mask. Who is that? Mask. Where? You are spreading corona again. Where? What is here? Okay. So this is the first activity or first function of this one is to provide credit facilities. Okay, giving them loans. That is, credit means providing them loans to coordinate the functions of other institutions in similar activities, and not only providing loans but also some other financial activities are there. So they coordinate the different activities of different banks and other institutions. So these are the two purposes of this one. Thus, so far we have learned about the various institutions operating at the central level and state level in support of small industries. So, see like when other already we have studied about the 2-3 institutions where these are there. So they will be making an arrangement or a link between the other just like central government activities as well as the state government activities. So in order to get the benefit to the small industries, they work. Then the next one is about the National Commission for Enterprises in the Unorganized Sector, NCEUS. The NCEUS was constituted in September 2004 with the following objectives. So the purposes of this one is are as follows: to recommend measures considered necessary for improving the productivity of small enterprises in the informal sector. So see like the productivity, how much amount of output that the companies can produce. Small output, small industries are there, they are producing a lot amount of output. So it is to increase the amount of output. Okay, so that is about the productivity. So that productivity means the capacity of a company or capacity of a person to produce more and more amount of output. Okay, so how much is, what is our productivity means that how much we can produce. Okay, how much amount of output we can generate. So see like if a person is there, so if there are, imagine that if a work is given to different people, if there are 20 employees are there and we tell them to make some product, and if you give them all what to say, ingredients are given to them, everything, machines are there, everything is there, but if 20 employees are there, all 20 will produce, and the same time is given. See like from morning 9 o'clock to evening 6 o'clock time is given, and they are producing output. At the end of the day, if you calculate, all 20 will produce the same output. Will it be possible? No. So what may be the reason? So all of them have got same type of raw materials are given, same machines are used, same time is given. Then why they are not producing the same amount of output? Do you know? It depends on the productivity, it depends on the ability of that person to produce the product, The machine is same, the raw material is same, the time given to them is same, but the capacity of that person will be different, So what can you say, what are the things that we can increase the productivity, or how to increase the productivity, or how they are, how we can see to it that these people, or see like if there are 20 employees, in that some 5 employees produced 10 output, some other employees produced 8 output, and some produced only 5 output. Okay, what may be the reason of like if one person produced 10 output and the other one produced only 5? What may be the reason between the difference? First one is that first reason may be the knowledge of producing. So like the first person may be a talented person, he is knowing how to produce it, and the other one may not know. The lack of knowledge is one reason we can say. So in order to avoid that, what we have to do? We have to give education, knowledge to the person. So we have to give them training. So we train that person how to produce. So he does not know how to produce, and if a person is there who does not know to produce, then his productivity will not be there. So like that, these institutions will be helping the small industries to find out their productivity, and in order to increase the productivity, what are the things that they can do. All these things they will find out. They will recommend the different measures for increasing their productivity. To generate more employment opportunities on the sustainable basis, particularly in rural areas. So they will try to give more employment opportunities. So when like the small industries are there, when they are starting, if the productivity, if the company is increasing, growing, then they may see, like if a company is there starting with a small industry, as like 10 employees are working in an organization and they are producing 100 output in a day and they are selling this. So then 10 only will be there. But if the company's capacity is increasing, if the company is has got more demands, like 100 output they are producing, 100 they are selling, and that much only demand is there. But when they are producing more product, or if the product is very much nice, then their demand will be there, more amount of demand will be there. Like 200 product demanded. Then what happens? They have to produce 200 output. And if they have to produce 200 output, there are only 10 employees, and 10 employees are able to produce only 100. Isn't it? So then they have a demand of 200 products. So if there is a 200 product is to be produced, then how many employees required? 20 employees required. Isn't it? So 10 only are there. So 10 more has to be there. So if 10 more has to be there, and then just bringing 10 more employees, we cannot produce. What we need? We need more resources required. We need more machines required. We need more raw materials required. So for this purpose, we need money. Finance is required. Capital requirement. So such a way, these institutions will help them to acquire more products, more machines, and such a way the number of opportunities will be increasing. So 10 more people are required. So then 10 more job opportunities created. Employment opportunities created. 10 more people. Earlier only 10 people were getting job. Now 20 are there. So 10 more people got a job opportunity. So if there are 100 companies like that, then around 2,000 people are getting more opportunities. So such a way, day by day, the small industries will be growing, and if it is found that say like one person started a small industry like that, and if it is becoming successful, what happens? Other people also will be starting. So they find it that it is a good job, and they are able to make more money in that. So then other people also will starting the industrial units. So government is providing support to them, and such a way they will be able to start these institutions. So when another institution starts, when another small company starts, then again the employment opportunities will increase. So like in Haraya, if we consider, if an industry is coming, so if an industry is coming into Haraya, then there is lot amount of job opportunities. So we don't have any industry is not here. So if we are completing our studies, and after that if we are searching for job, then we have to go to Lucknow or Kanpur or Delhi or any other places for the job. But if an industry is available in Haraya itself, we can get the job here itself. So then we get more job opportunities. So providing more job opportunities or employment opportunities in especially in rural areas. So these big companies and all will be started only in urban areas, city areas, because they will consider where the availability of raw materials are there, or other facilities, transportation facilities, all these things they will consider. Okay, and after that only they will start. But for small industries, these things are not necessary. They will also consider. But when an industry is starting in a rural area, for these small industries, they will get more support from the government. So people will be more interested in starting industries in rural areas. To enhance the competitiveness of the sector in the emerging global environment. So, see what happens is that like competition is a very big problem. See like if big companies are there, So when like in our this one we can say like earlier there were so many type of network providers were there. Okay, like BSNL is there, or Airtel is there, Vodafone Idea, Aircell, or Docomo, or Uninor. So many companies were there. You know. Now, but these companies started. Most of the companies stopped. So even Uninor was there, started. So they are lost. So they could not. And now this Idea was there, and Vodafone also was there, and they were running in loss. So they merged, and now became we. Then now the number of telecom companies have been reduced. So Jio came, and Jio is a very powerful or a very big company, and it is giving more options to the to the customers, and they captured more number of customers, and the other companies could not survive. So now see like Vodafone and Idea, they combined and they became one company, and Airtel is remaining, BSNL is almost over. So now other companies all are there. This is the situation, and now this Vodafone also, VI is also there. That is also not providing any like I am using VI network, and still I am having so much amount of troubles. Most of the time we are not getting signal, and if we are calling, what I am talking other person cannot hear, and what he is talking I cannot hear. So such type of problems are there. So these type of troubles are there. So such a way these companies will stop. So this is because of the competition. So when there is a huge competition, big companies only will be able to survive. Okay, small industries like this will not be able to survive. So if competition comes, then these small scale industries are there. If there is no proper support from the government, they cannot survive in the competitive world. So these institutions help the small industries to compete with the even bigger companies. Okay, so they are making them so much powerful to compete with the even higher companies. Okay, then to develop linkages of the sector with other institutions in the areas of credit, raw materials, infrastructure, technology, upgradation, marketing and formulation of suitable arrangements for skill development. So they make a linkage between other sectors. So there are so many other sector companies are there. So they make like a bridge between the other sectors also. For see for example, if you technology development, if we have to update the technology, a small scale industry cannot update its own technology by itself, because it is not having much amount of financial resources are not there. And see like skill training, if training is to be provided, so see like if there are 10 employees or 20 employees are there, and if a trainer is to be called, then we have to pay lakhs of rupees. Okay, so see like I was working in ICICI Bank, and we were having a training, and for 5 days we had a training, and this 5 days training around 200 people were there. So we were staying in a hotel, and the bank is providing us the facility to stay there, and our food accommodation, everything is provided, room is provided. One room is costing around 5,000 rupees per day. Okay, so such a way this is there, and they are providing a big auditorium there, and an expert person had come there for giving us training, and his salary was around 2 lakh rupees per day. Okay, 5 days class is there, 10 lakh rupees is to be provided for yes. Okay, so they are coming, so this is their work. They will come and they take a seminar, or they will take a class for 10 days, 5 days, and collect 10 lakh rupees, and they will go. Okay, so not only one, there are still a team of people are there, they come, around 2-3 people are there, they come. And even see like if there are some like we are conducting some classes and all here, so some seminars. For that also huge cost is there, not last you think. Just like a teacher who is coming and teaching here for 1 month is getting very less amount of salary. Not much you will not get. But if a person they are coming, and this one they are coming, they are also for daily basis or hourly basis. See like when we were in the colleges and all, the lectures used to come from outside, and they come and take class. So for one class they are getting see like 45 minutes one period. If they take 2,000 rupees or 3,000 rupees like that, they are getting lectures from other means government lectures are there. They take no, they come and they take one class, they take and go. That's all. You know. So their travel expenses are there for coming and for staying and for their food. All these things are provided. You know. So such type of this one is there. So giving a training is a complicated task. So if like for an organization, small organization and all, this much expense may not be there. But if we have to call an expert for conducting a training, if there are 10 employees and if we have to call, imagine that if for total 1 lakh rupees expenditure is there for conducting a training itself, that also a small industry cannot afford. So that much amount of expenditure is not possible to bear. So if they are spending like a big companies will be able to spend it because they know that if they are spending this much money, they can get a more benefit. So if there are some 200 employees are there, and out of these 200, if at least 100 are becoming the employees, or if their performance level is increasing, this will create a lot amount of profit for the organization. So that is why they are ready to spend it, but small industries will not be able to conduct this type of skill development programs and all may not be able to conduct it. So then what happens, how they will be able to get this is that they will mingle with many companies. There maybe has like some 10 companies will be. All 10 companies will be joined together and there will be some 100 employees altogether. 10 companies are there, 10 each, every company's employees are there. So all of them together they will conduct a training program. So then if 1 lakh rupees expenditure is there, one company has to bear only 10,000 rupees. So that is a quite affordable price. So such a way they will arrange, and this organization itself will be making a linkage between the other type of companies, those who are providing these educational facilities and other type of facilities and so on. Then the commission has identified the following issues for detailed consideration. So there are some kind of problems or issues faced by the this commission. First one, growth poles for the informal sector in the form of clusters, hubs, in order to get the external economic aid. So their first problem was that it is growth poles are there. So it's like growth opportunities are very much less for these small scale industries. Okay. Then potential for public-private partnership in imparting the skills required by the informal sector. So it is difficult to make like public-private partnership is not possible, or it is not that easy to create. Okay, that is another problem that they are facing. And provision of microfinance and related services to the informal sector. So it is not possible to like microfinance and such type of facilities are there. So it is not that easy to get. So microfinance means the small scale industries are supposed to get these things, but for smaller sectors or informal sectors are there, so they are not able to get these services. And providing social security for the workers in the informal sector. So providing social security. So security like a business security or social security to the workers is cannot be provided. So they don't like a security and all cannot be provided. Big companies they will be able to provide, but small scale industries may not be able to provide. Okay. The next we have to study is about the rural and women entrepreneurship development. Rural and women entrepreneurship development. All these sectors, all these commissions are made by the government. Okay, so they are government assistance for the development of the government sectors. These small scale sectors. The government has established this type of units. The Rural and Women Entrepreneurship Development Program aims at promoting a conducive business environment and at building institutional and human capacities that will encourage and support the entrepreneurial initiatives of rural people and women. RWE provides the following services. So the services provided, these are main purpose of this type of institution is to provide support for the women, especially rural as well as the women entrepreneurs. So there are some people, especially some ladies and all are they are coming up nowadays. There are some earlier we can say that like doing business was only done by men. So like starting a company or doing business is the job of. Now also if you consider, there are only very few companies or there are very few institutions where led by women. So like if you consider, like if you go for studies, when you go for MBA or classes like that, you will find that almost a majority of around 70 to 80% of the students, those who are studying MBA, will be males. Boys, and only very few girls are studying. Because they don't consider this as a, first of all, like we can say that it's like men are little having business mind is there. So like if you want to do any in our home also, just think like anything related to money is handled mostly by your father. If you ask with your father and mother, most of the things, anything related to the money is held by the father, and mother is not much worried about the financial needs or how to handle the money and all. So in some cases it may be there, but it is commonly, this is the tendency that males are dominating in such kind of things. And doing business also is the way, see, like especially the females are having kind of like their minds are little tender type, so soft minded people. So, but gents are not like that, very hard-hearted, So, if you want to imagine that, say like you are given, see for example, if you are given, you are a company owner and you sold a product to a customer, and this customer is coming and telling that, oh, I am not having any money, and at home I am not having any money, and I cannot pay you back the money. Such a situation is there. And if your male is there as the owner, and he will not accept all these type of comments. He will say that whatever may be the situation, you have to pay the money back. But if a female is there, if your mother is sitting in the shop, and if another person is coming and telling that, oh, we don't have money at home and we don't have any food to eat, all these type of things are there, then they will say that, okay, no problem, you need not to pay. So this is the common tendency. But okay, so this is quite natural. This is nothing wrong, because like this is the tendency of the people. Okay, so but doing business, you see, if you want to start a business or running a business, but it is not that it is not possible for women. It is not like that. So there are so many females or so many women are there, those who are coming up with the business. They start business and they run business, and they are even this the MD or managing director of this ICICI Bank is the woman. Chanda Kochar is the managing director of ICICI Bank, head of the ICICI Bank. And forward here. No. Not Chanda Kochar was not arrested. That there was some kind of issues there. Okay. So there are so many other people also there, successful people are there, those who have made success in their life, and they have even women, they have come up. And but since it is not for government is providing some kind of support for the women to come up into the entrepreneurship. Okay. So first, creating a business environment that encourages initiative of rural and women entrepreneurs. And see, in the rural area, in the village area also, people are not, see, like even if people are there in the rural area, they don't come up for, or they don't take risk for starting businesses. So in order to support these type of people, they are willing to start business, but they are not ready to take a huge risk. So starting a business is a very big risk. And people in the rural area or women and all are not ready to take such a huge risk. Okay. But in order to support these type of people, this thing is made. So first, then second one is enhancing the human and institutional capacities required to foster entrepreneurial dynamism and enhance productivity. So it's that the capacity of the human beings have increased or try to increase the capability and the productivity of the people by motivating them, increasing their capabilities. Providing training manuals for women entrepreneurs and training them. So separate, see like how the male is trained, same way if for the same training is given to the female, they may not be able to learn. So they may need some other or some separate way of teaching them. Okay, so there is a special training is given for the woman to come up with their business or start up with their companies. So there are some special trainings and all are provided and motivating them to start companies and becoming the entrepreneurs. Rendering any other advisory services or any other type of like advisory means that any kind of advisors helps, you know. So if they are having some queries or questions are there, so then they will try to answer these questions or find out the solution for the questions, or if any kind of issues are there, then they will try to solve this one. Okay. The next one we have to study is about a World Association for Small and Medium Enterprises. Another institution is about the World Association for Small and Medium Enterprises. It is the only international non-governmental organization of micro, small and medium enterprises based in India, which set up an international committee for rural industrialization. Its aim is to develop an action plan model for sustained growth of rural enterprises. So this is the only international organization made for the development of small, medium and micro, small and medium enterprises. Apart from these, there are several schemes to promote the non-farm sector, mostly initiated by the Government of India. For instance, there are schemes for entrepreneurship through subsidized loans like Integrated Rural Development Program, Prime Minister Rojgar Yojana schemes to provide skills like training and rural youth for self-employment, and schemes to strengthen the gender component like development of women and children in rural areas. So there are so many type of schemes are there provided by the government and non-government institutions for supporting the businesses, especially the small scale industries. There are schemes to provide wage employment like Jawahar Rojgar Yojana, food for work, etc. on rural works programs to achieve the twin objective of creation of rural infrastructure and generation of additional income for the rural poor, particularly during the lean agricultural season. Last but not the least, there are schemes for specific groups of industries such as khadi, handlooms and handicraft. So there are so many schemes are provided for different type of activities, and these are the supports provided by the government for building up small, micro, small and medium scale industries. So this will be helpful for achieving them.